2025 is the year of the underdog. Aberdeen had to endure so much pressure throughout 120 minutes against this dominant Celtic side, but they found a way to get level. They found a way to get to penalty kicks, and this is the stuff of legends for the men in reds. Unbelievable for so much of this game. Jimmy Thelin, in his first season as Aberdeen manager, has taken Aberdeen all the way to the Scottish Cup. For 1990, Theo Schrelders. In 2025, it's Dimitar Mitov who saved from Callum McGregor and Alistair Johnson. Alex Smith did it 35 years ago. Now it's Jimmy Thelin, the Swede, who brings back glory to the Granite City. And what a way to do it. Celtic suffer on penalties, just as they did 35 years ago. But what delight for Aberdeen, for Jimmy Thelin, and for that squad of players. When did you start thinking, Michael, that this might have been a possibility in this game?
Well, I could show you my phone, and I sent a text message saying I think Aberdeen are going to do this. I mean, yeah, it's just been so improbable. The performance was not great, but as it's going on, and you're looking at the way that they've actually scored as well, and Celtic offering very little as a response, you just start to wonder. And boy, look at the joyous scenes down Aberdeen's end. That's great to see, it really is. Such a long time for Aberdeen to wait to lift the trophy. And they are certainly going to go and celebrate it. Look at Shinnie there.
I think Papa Gay was a massive introduction for them as well. I thought he made a huge difference. Shayden Morris with his pace. And you just had a feeling, didn't you, the longer that it went on, that they were going to get a chance, they were going to get an opportunity. We've seen it, one just over the bar, and as long as the game went on, they were growing in that confidence. You've got to think that that was in the thinking of Jimmy Thelin. Look, I know it's maybe not ideal, but can we stay in the game for as long as we can? Even if we go down 1-0, there's still an opportunity to get something. And look, they must, I'd love somebody to ask them if they've been practicing those penalties this week, because they were outstanding.
Aberdeen win the Scottish Cup for the 8th time in their history, but after 3 final defeats, this has been the longest wait between them. Well, let's go down for some immediate reaction, because Connie McLaughlin is right in amongst the Aberdeen players.
I don't know if this has even began in any way to sink in. Graeme Shinnie, Scottish Cup holder, how do you feel?
I don't know, if I'm being honest. Tired. We put everything into it, and everyone wrote us off before the game. Everyone expected Celtic to come here and turn us over, and fair enough, because the games this season have went that way apart from the 2-2 game. So everyone looked at this thinking, oh, Aberdeen, spineless, whatever people have called us over the season, and they've answered up. And the biggest test of character is penalties, and we scored 5 out of 5. I'm going to lift the Scottish Cup for my hometown club. Oh, the feeling is incredible. Right,
because your club have not done this since 1990, let me walk through what we do at this point. Come on, come round this way with me, right? Have a look round here. This is the happiness that you put on people's faces right now. Can you sum up what that feels like? What is it like to make all these people sing your name and just be delighted?
I can't sum it up. If you could bottle up this feeling, you could sell it for billions. Look at the turnout from the crowd here. They believed in us. No one else did, but these Aberdeen fans believed we could do it. And we as a players and we as a staff, and everyone included, we had a real belief we could do it today. We changed ways, we changed shape. we had to. And yeah, the turnout from the crowd driving us on, tired bodies, cramping everywhere, the crowd drove us on. Incredible feeling, and to party with these now until maybe Wednesday or Thursday
Maybe
is incredible. So yeah, I've done it once and it was the best weekend of my life. This might top it.
Yeah. Go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy every moment. Well done, Graeme.
Well, congratulations to Graeme Shinnie there. Yes, he's lifted the trophy with Inverness Caledonian Thistle, but has never managed to win the Scottish Cup before with Aberdeen. Yet here he is as the captain. Wow. Andy, I have to come to you first. You said it, you put your neck on the line, and a bit like Ange Postecoglou in his second season, you got it right.
Do you know, I just had a feeling the longer the game went on, once we scored, made it 1-1. Once it goes into extra time, listen, the boys defended excellent. They were so good. Once it obviously goes to penalties, it's anyone's game, but the boys held their own. Charlie touched on it, mentality. Mentally they were outstanding, solid, so good.
They were solid executing their penalties, but they were also solid in defence of those penalties, because Dimitar Mitov saved 2, and he's now with Connie.
Dimitar, you just said you feel like your head's going to explode. No wonder. Sum up how you're feeling.
Incredible emotions. I can't describe it with one word, but listen, I just want to thank every single fan that came and supported us, because a lot of people doubted us today, but we believed, and we did something that not many people believed, but we did. So I'm super happy for everybody involved.
When it goes down to penalties, it's you and that other player. When you're looking at the Celtic players, you're so confident in situations like that. Kevin has been having a great time himself. What was going through your minds when the Celtic players were coming up to take those penalties?
Save it? No, it's honestly situations like this, it's just being calm. Just follow instincts, pick away and make sure you go. And I'm super happy that I managed to save 2 penalties, but the boys were superb. The penalties were incredible, and just over the moon.
You're being modest, because games like this can make goalkeepers. That last one, the save from Alistair Johnson, what sum up that emotion when you knew that was it?
I was actually a bit worried, because the VAR was checking if I was over the line or not, so I was kind of holding my emotions, trying to stay as calm as possible. As soon as the ref pointed, honestly, it's something that I've never felt in my life before, and I'm 100% sure today's going to be the happiest day of my life.
I bet it is. Well done. Go and enjoy it with your teammates. Have a great night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Dimitar Mitov, this was the save that won the cup. Look at his face. As he said, if you could bottle that, Charlie, I know you're disappointed, but Andy, seeing this Aberdeen team come here and get the job done, is it making you a bit emotional?
Of course it is, but you know what? What Shinnie and that have said, no one gave him a chance today.
Yeah.
They didn't. And if you think of the season as a whole, excellent start. Yes, a serious rough patch, but this tops it all off. And do you know what? Obviously, it pays dividends in the sense of a better European place as well, so it's excellent. So listen, I'm absolutely over the moon. Delighted for every single person here who made the trip and believed. Spoke about that earlier. You have to have that belief. It was going to be a serious hard effort, but every single one of the boys who stepped on that pitch today were superb.
And you see Dave Cormack there with Jimmy Thelin. It's a risk when you appoint a foreign manager from another country. You don't know how they're going to adapt, but he went with his man, and his man has delivered the first Scottish Cup in 35 years. It must be a pretty good feeling for them.
Jimmy's first time I've seen him showing any emotion all season.
Alan Burrows there as well.
What a magnificent moment for him on a personal level. What a magnificent moment for the club, the owner, and these supporters. Their name was on it this year. I mean, there was a feeling in the studio that it might be Aberdeen's day from yourself and from Andy. Celtic probably didn't do enough to win it, and in the penalty shootout the Aberdeen players were magnificent, but they showed tremendous fitness, they showed tremendous belief, and I thought Gay, when he came on, made a huge difference, and as did Morris as well. So congratulations to Aberdeen, and it just shows you, Celtic, these phenomenal players are human beings, and it's not easy winning trebles, and you should never ever take it for granted. It's still been a brilliant season for Celtic, though. You're right, Emma, it's a year of the underdog this year, certainly in the cup competitions anyway.
Yeah, when you think about it, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Tottenham against Manchester United, not so much of an underdog, but they've not had a great domestic season. Bologna have won, and here Aberdeen have won as well. But you know, how much credit does Jimmy Thelin deserve for the way that he tactically managed that match?
Massive credit, because a lot of managers would have been stubborn and maybe stuck to the formation he's played every game this year, 4-2-3-1. They went to the back five, and they took a lot of pressure. It was like Muhammad Ali versus George Roman and Zaire. It was like backs to walls for a lot of the game, and then they came out swinging in the last 10 minutes, and they managed to get themselves a goal. Get it to penalties, and I got it completely wrong. I said Celtic were mentally stronger and got into that penalty situation. Andy was bang on. Aberdeen showed great strength and character. When you get the first penalty as well, I see that as an advantage, because you can put pressure on another team. But when you miss it, then the pressure then turns on you. And Aberdeen were brilliant, and the keeper comes up with 2 saves. Mitov was brilliant. The penalties, the standard of penalties was different class.
Yeah, you can see by Callum McGregor's face there just exactly how much him and the rest of the Celtic players are hurting. The treble dream is over for another year, but of course still a hugely successful season for them. Premier Sports Cup winners, and of course the Scottish Premiership champions as well. But today is very much all about Aberdeen. And Andy, you mentioned just what those Aberdeen players gave. I'm looking at Jack Milne out there. He's eating the carb gels. He's taking the look and he literally can't walk. He's so cramped up.
It would have been so nerve-wracking going into this game. It is any final. The nerves are through the roof, but for a young lad like that, who I thought was exceptional, had stepped in, middle of a 3, and I thought he was superb today. Absolutely superb.
Well, thank you very much for the time being. You can see Celtic just going up to get their medals from this one. So I'll hand you back upstairs to our commentary team, led by Rory Hamilton.
Thank you, Emma. It will start with the unfamiliar feeling for Callum McGregor of leading his side up those steps to collect their runners-up medals. So used to forcing their opponents into such a difficult emotional walk. The Celtic season, they will have to make do with a double the second season running. It has been a hugely successful season. That will maybe not be at the forefront of their minds right now, with the disappointment coming so dramatically in the Scottish Cup final on penalties. Horrible way to lose it, but they've had a season that has delivered the Premier Sports Cup, the league title once again, knockout football in the UEFA Champions League, and Brendan Rodgers will look to build again towards next season. It's a first defeat at Hampden Park for Brendan Rodgers. As a treble evades them, it shows just how difficult it is to complete such a task. So many thought it was inevitable, expectant, and maybe just resets the expectation levels, but it's Celtic that have reset them to that level for their achievements over this past decade. The officials received their medals: Don Robertson, Ross McLeod, David Dunn, Colin Steen, the fourth official. On VAR were Greg Aitken and Sean Carr. And it's Aberdeen's moment, Aberdeen's day, one that they have waited and waited for. A season that has been like no other. Record-breaking highs and lows. Jimmy Thelin first in Scottish football has been one to remember, and now one to cherish. A real roller coaster. And now, led by Jack McKenzie, Aberdeen born and bred, departing the club, will be the first man up the steps to receive a Scottish Cup winners' medal. A season that was derailed in November and the wheels came off. The Dons' crash recovery took months after a heavy defeat to Celtic at Hampden Park, but this time they were determined to make it different. They may have used that pain to get them to this stage. The entire squad waits on the steps at Hampden Park as the final members emerge, ready to receive the Scottish Cup, and it will be in the hands of Graeme Shinnie, a Scottish Cup winner a decade ago with Inverness Caledonian Thistle. He follows up as manager Jimmy Thelin. The Aberdeen skipper looks in disbelief. The moment of anticipation almost over as Graeme Shinnie gets his hands on the trophy. The 2025 Scottish Cup winners are Aberdeen. And the Scottish Cup will sparkle at Pittodrie once again. They dared to dream big, and not many gave them a chance today, but they believed, they delivered, and 3 decades of the weight of success are released. From Alex Miller, Theo Snelders and Brian Irvine in 1990, for Sir Alex Ferguson, John Hewitt, Billy Stark, Black, McGee, Strachan, Miller, McLeish, Cooper, Harper, Mackay, Hamilton, Williams, Halliday, Eddie Turnbull, Scottish Cup heroes of yesteryear. For this season, read the names: Mitov, Devlin, Shinnie, Knooster, Nisbet, Clarkson, Palaversa, Milne, Dorrington, Jensen, Keskinen, Doohan, McKenzie, Polvara, Daba, Gay, Morris, Tobers and Boyd. The full squad led by Jimmy Thelin, who has delivered the almighty prize for the Dons, what they have craved for 35 long years. But for Aberdeen, the trophy is coming home to the Granite City, to the northeast, where they held it for so long in the glory years. This is the glory day for Aberdeen. They are the 2025 Scottish Cup winners.
So congratulations once again to Aberdeen. You can see and feel around this stadium just what it means. The players are up just behind our studio here, embracing family, making their way back down onto the pitch, having collected their medals. Jimmy Thelin as well, a first major trophy for him here. I mean, you can't over-exaggerate what this means to the city and to the club, can you, Andy?
It's massive. This party will go on throughout the whole summer. But seeing all the players come up here and get family, this is what it's all about. These are the people that pick up the pieces day in, day out. When things are not going so well, things are going well. Huge part of it. It's so lovely to see, but no, this is going to be incredible.
It certainly
Absolutely
is.
Incredible.
It certainly is. You can see them there, Aberdeen, just preparing for the fanfare that goes with being winners of the 2024-25 Scottish Cup. Fantastic scenes there. I mean, Charlie, you played at Aberdeen, you know what it means to these fans, but you have to say the effort of these players, and Andy touched on it, they were heavy underdogs, but the mindset of them to come into this and for Jimmy Thelin to prepare them for this and the effort they put in, it really is a phenomenal achievement.
So I mentioned the pressure the fans put on. There's a big expectation in Aberdeen. They're used to the teams in the 80s winning things, 80s and 90s. Last time they won this 35 years ago. So the fans still demand that these teams appear in finals and try and win. And today they turn up. I don't think there's a lot of hope in the crowd, but there might have been that little thing inside them saying you never know it's a final, and they've went and done it. I mean, what a great start to the season. A mixed bag in the middle, and then they end it so high. So fair play to them.
And they're now guaranteed European group stage football. They'll get into a Europa League playoff, and then if they don't progress through that into the Europa League group stage, they'll drop into the Conference League group stages.
Yeah, massively important from a financial point of view, where Jimmy may get the opportunity to add more to the squad. But they've deserved it. They've beaten the best team in the country for the last 20 years, 25 years. They've been so dominant, and these pictures happen very, very rarely, such as Celtic's dominance being. So it's Aberdeen's day. They really made a game of it in the second half and in extra time, and I thought they defended brilliantly when they needed to, but they also attacked well, and they got the balance right. The first half was really disappointing, but overall you have to say, you know, congratulations, your name's on the cup.
I think if you'd offer these fans at the start of the season a 5th place finish in a Scottish Cup, they would have a bit bigger hand after it.
I'm sure they certainly would. Well, they have their hands on the Scottish Cup. There's Jimmy Thelin, dedicated it to the fans. Let's hear from one of the other Aberdeen players, because Jimmy Thelin, what an effort from him today, is with Connie McLaughlin.
Nicky, we were just watching you having a bit of a moment where your little boy, you saw Graeme there with his kids as well. This is what this moment's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why they sacrifice more than anyone. Like, their family sacrifice more than anyone. When you have throughout the season, a lot, especially in Aberdeen, there's a lot of away trips. My wife's left with the kids a lot all the time. So yeah, it's been more for them, for the supporters. It's just amazing.
What's this like? Summing this up. This is madness, isn't it?
Amazing, and like this is the reason. Fair play to the chairman. This is why he wanted to almost have a 50-50. He wanted all these Aberdeen fans here because the chairman believed in us, the manager believed in us, and yeah, we managed to win.
For somebody who's managed the semi-finals before, coming all the way to the final, and a lot of people, let's be honest, wrote you guys off.
No, of course, and listen, I know myself, like, I'm not the youngest player in the world anymore, so you don't know how many times this happens anymore. But yeah, just the feeling is just incredible.
When you have a sort of, you're walking around and I'm going to let you look at what's happening. I don't want you to miss anything here, right? But you see that, and you see these guys that you've worked so hard with this season who've been through so many big ups and downs. Tell me about them. What's so good about this group of players?
It's amazing, and we get written off all the time. We get told our mentality's this, our mentality's that. That's mentality today. Like, we went 1-0 down. We could have easily came away from the game plan the manager set out for us, but we stuck with it, and in the end, you know what I mean, we got our rewards.
Go and enjoy every moment of it. Well done, Nicky. Cheers.
They're just thoroughly enjoying this moment, as are all of the Aberdeen players. And these moments are few and far between, aren't they, Andy? You've got to take this in. You've got to be out there enjoying this. It's what all the hard work is for.
Absolutely. I mean, the two guys next to me are serial winners for Celtic. And Celtic have year in, year out dominated Scottish football, you know, and it's great, especially obviously because it's Aberdeen, but it's great to see someone else win it. But I thought Aberdeen, as I said, they let the game go on for as long as possible, still within an opportunity. Goes to penalties and anything can happen, but they were absolutely incredible, every single one of them.
But there's some big performers today. You know, I thought the captain was excellent. I thought the goalkeeper, when called upon, and the centre halves defended so well, put the bodies on the line. So yeah, it was a great all-round squad performance today.
An excellent performance, and it is a plan that has been years in the making. Let's hear from Dave Cormack, who is now with Connie.
Thanks very much for that, Emma. Dave, congratulations, Scottish Cup winners. How does that sound?
It's wonderful. You see our supporters here came down en masse. It's been a long time, 1990, since we won the Scottish Cup. So just delighted for all of our supporters, for the northeast of Scotland as well, and they'll be partying tonight, and there'll be 150,000 people on Union Street tomorrow. I
bet there will. Walk with me, right? Because I don't want you to miss any of this. Every single face that you see in this part of Hampden is here, is delighted, is in a moment that maybe not even they thought was possible, because so many people have thought this was Celtic's trophy already before a ball had been kicked.
There were a few people out there saying we were lambs to the slaughter, no pun intended. We've had an up and down season, but we have this in us. If we play 90 minutes, or in this case 120, we can put up a performance. So just delighted. We've got group stages in Europe now, and we're looking forward to that.
And Jimmy obviously has been a breath of fresh air in Scottish football. The start that we saw to this season has been quite remarkable. And then there was doubters. There was moments where people thought, is this the right guy for the job? Has that silenced a lot of those doubters in your mind?
Well, I think that probably 90% of Aberdeen fans are still 100% behind Jimmy. They see this as a project. He's got a great track record, albeit in Sweden, and we're just delighted he's here.
And all the hard work, all the investment that you've put in, all the time that these guys have all put in, this is the moment right now, and it's important to enjoy that. But where can this take you, apart from, obviously, as you mentioned, the European football?
Well, listen, for me, this isn't about money. This is about trying to put the smile on our home city's face through the club and through our community trust. And the best way to do it is through the football club. So we'll just enjoy tonight, and we'll think about European group stages. But Jimmy did say to me there, we need to spend some money now.
I bet he did. And there's something about that, isn't there, about, you have moments like this. You don't want this to be the end of it. You want more, and the supporters will want more, because success then breeds success. Is that something you're thinking, right, enjoy right now, but you will need to get your cash book, your chequebook out?
Oh, well, certainly we were intending to spend this summer. We spent $3 million in the last two transfer windows. We'll spend this summer. We're also going to invest in a multi-million extension to the training ground, where we're putting an indoor pitch and extending the pavilion for our girls' academy women's team. And so, yeah, this for us is it's a marathon, not necessarily a sprint, but I'm glad we sprinted today.
Right, listen, go and enjoy every single moment of this. It doesn't come around too often. Congratulations, Dave, well done.
I mean, it's already been a good day for Jimmy Thelin, but Dave Cormack's just said they'll spend money in the summer. That's a great day for a manager, surely.
Wonderful. I mean, Connie asked a good question. What are the ramifications now of this win? Is it going to open things up more for Aberdeen going forward and become a real force in Scotland? It may be a turning point for them. I've often wondered about the culture at the club over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, but this may right all those wrongs, and now there's an opportunity for Aberdeen to build on what's been an unexpected but huge victory here in the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, exciting times for these Aberdeen fans. Maybe this is just the start of it. Well, perhaps this might be the final say for one of the Aberdeen players, because his loan spell ends as of the end of this season officially. Let's get the thoughts of Kevin Nisbet, who's a Scottish Cup winner. He too now is with Connie.
Kevin, wow. How are you feeling?
Unbelievable. We knew we had to suffer in the game, playing against a top team, but the boys dug in, and to win in penalties is fantastic.
Let me see what that says on your t-shirt. Aye, worth the wait. I mean, has it been, do you reckon, looking behind you, looking at all these fans, did it feel like you as this game was going on? Because let's be honest, it wasn't a classic, that something was beginning to turn.
We knew if we just kept ourselves in the game, we'd always get a chance, and thankfully Shane does what he does best and put a good ball in, but we had chances after that as well, and we probably should have won the game in extra time, but to take it to penalties and win it, it's dramatic. It's good for the viewers, but look at the fans, it's absolutely amazing.
Can you begin to sum up your time here at Aberdeen, because you've become quite a bit of the fans' favourite now, haven't you?
It's been brilliant. I've loved every minute, through the ups, through the downs, and to finish like this it's unbelievable, and we're going to party for 2 days in Aberdeen now.
I bet you are. So now officially, because that was officially the end of the season, you're now no longer an Aberdeen player, which feels weird. Is it definite then you're going back to Millwall? There's no discussions about potentially making that a longer term thing?
Yeah, I'll be back there doing pre-season. I don't really want to talk about other clubs and stuff like that, so back there on pre-season, then we'll take it from there.
You're going to enjoy, though, every single moment of this. You're going to need to fuel up if you're going to party for 2 days. Go and enjoy it.
Oh, big time. It's obviously great, the fans are great, and we'll see you tomorrow in the parade.
Well done. Cheers, Kevin, well done.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a moment to savour tomorrow, isn't it? The bus parade. We've seen it so many times this season. teams winning cups, the whole city turns out. That's going to be special. You're going to be out for that one tomorrow?
Certainly will be. I know my two eldest boys will be buzzing to go, so yeah, we'll certainly be there. But listen, the whole city will be alight. It'll be what a party it'll be for the next week or so. But they absolutely deserve it. You know, it's been a long time coming, so they deserve it.
And this wasn't just about the players that started the match. Kevin Nisbet there, he had to come off. Other players went on. Every single player that was involved in this Aberdeen squad today played their part, didn't they, Charlie?
Yeah, we thought there might be changes at half time, and we were sort of saying maybe a change of shape, change of formation, change of sort of tactic. I was saying, but they kept the same sort of way of playing. The subs then made an impact. They still played defensive, but they offered something out of possession. In possession. They played forward quickly, they got it up to Papagay, and that made the difference.
It was the difference, and you can see there what it means. Let's hear from the Aberdeen manager now, because we're keeping Connie busy. She's with Jimmy Thelin.
Someone's got a big, huge smile on their face, Emma. And no wonder. Jimmy Thelin, Scottish Cup winning manager. How are you feeling?
I just look here and see the players and the staff, the fans, all the work we have done together this season is amazing, and experience this in this league, in this country, and feel this passion is totally amazing.
Do you know, I watched you as that final whistle went, and the look on your face was more relief than anything else. Is that what it felt like?
It was quite exciting today, I have to say. So it was a kind of relief, but I'm so happy, but also totally drained right now.
Do you know, so many times you and I have had a conversation after matches, and when there have been moments that have been high points for you guys and moments that have been difficult, and you always say the same thing about keeping that consistency, and that's paid off.
Yeah, it did, and you never give up. You always have to believe. In a final, everything is possible. You have to dream big, and we're trying to build this up the whole week, and the support we have in the city with the fans, everybody around the club, inside the club. So this is for everyone in Aberdeen and the rest of the world who have a big Aberdeen heart.
Yeah, and it's even more difficult. I hope you can hear me because it's so noisy behind us. You said after that match at Pittodrie against Celtic that you needed to change something up a little bit. You certainly did that and found a way through. At what point in this game did you think, wait a minute, there's something in this here, we can get something from this?
Yeah, we talk about take 2 days off, the players after the Dundee United game, and we went through different scenarios, and we feel like we have to create some belief, change something to get a win here today. And we share with the players, and we do it together with them, and you can see everybody was aligned today, and it is so amazing.
You've got a captain who's done this before, but this is his first time for Aberdeen. You can see what it means. It's written all over his face.
Shinnie has been amazing the whole season. He's always been so positive inside the Cormac Park, around the players, and he always put his heart on the pitch. So I'm so proud of him, and he should really enjoy today.
Just a final point. I was just speaking to Dave Cormac there, who was saying that potentially he's got a wee bit of money that you might be able to spend. He's maybe going to get his chequebook out for the summer. That'll be music to your ears, surely?
Dave Cormac has been so supportive the whole season, and the board and Alan and Stephen. So we are in this together, and we try to do the best we can with the possibilities we have. So he has been an amazing chairman, and the board and Alan and Stephen has pushed us so in the difficult times. They have been there and supported us. They believe in us all the time.
2 days for a party, Kevin Nisbet says. 2, 3, how many days how long do you think this party's going to last?
Yeah, I can't hear now, but I think we're going to party a little bit late. Yeah.
Go and enjoy every moment, Jimmy. Well done. Congratulations.
Oh, I think this party's going to go on long into the summer up in Aberdeen, and quite rightly so. They are lapping this up. What about Jimmy Thelin then, Andy, and what he has brought to the city, the feeling of the way he has had Aberdeen performing? I'll talk about the good times more than the dip in form halfway through, but that start to the season and then this ending to the season, it's been quite a phenomenal way to announce yourself at the club.
Do you know what? All I can really say about it is that he's been really calm through the whole season. You know, there's very little emotion from him, even on the sidelines, and I think that's just him as a man. But, you know, he's stuck to his guns. You know, what he teaches on the training ground, as much as such what you see in the games. Yes, I'm sure he would agree there's been some frustrating moments, but this is all worth it. This is worth it. The carrot at the end of it, to say you're going to be a Scottish Cup winner in your first season, you know, he's going to be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, he certainly is. I've often wondered, why do footballers put the cup on their head? when they're celebrating. We've just seen about 2 Aberdeen players do it.
Where else?
Where else do you put it?
It's a good point. I've never done it myself. My head's too big.
I'm glad you said that, not me, Charlie. Listen, the party is going on here. Aberdeen are the 2025 Scottish Cup winners. They did it on penalties. It was a sensational end to an otherwise sensational day. Much more reaction to come after this. They have their hands back on the Scottish Cup trophy. Andy, when you say it like that, 35 years, it's an awful long time, isn't it? But you can see there what it means.
Absolutely. It was much and such like when we won the League Cup back in 2014, you know. But I can only hope now, as Neil had touched on, that it's going to potentially be more of a regular thing. You know, we've reached finals over the past number of years, but not go over the line. The city deserves it, the team deserves it, but no, I'm over the moon. I'm so happy for them.
And there's a lot of people here, isn't there? You know, we talk about Jimmy Thelin coming in, the players, but I see people like Peter Leven who have been behind the scenes for a number of years. The kit team, you know, the coaches, the people behind the scenes. There's a lot of people that have waited a long time for this.
Of course, I mean, you look at there was one of the kit man, Jim Wander, who was in the stand, you know, and he still looks after the first team but doesn't travel with them much anymore, you know, and I was looked over my shoulder and saw tears in his eyes, and it's little things like that. He's been there from, goodness me, 25, 30 years. Charlie, you remember Jim Wander. I mean, these people have been a part of the furniture of the club, but I'd love to see another Scottish Cup win.
I think he was crying because he saw a pair of socks getting flung in the crowd. Normally kitmen are like, they don't like to lose their socks.
An extra bit of washing.
Folk cutting holes in them and all of that is now the done thing. Yeah, no, but fantastic for Aberdeen. I mean, I think we've covered it. Absolutely sensational. What a day for them. Well, as we say, for every winner, there is a loser. Let's get the thoughts then of the Celtic manager, Brendan Rodgers, is with Rory.
Brendan, I know it's always difficult to kind of sum up your thoughts so close to such a dramatic ending. What are your emotions and your assessment of the performance?
Well, no, we were nowhere near our standard today. Firstly, congratulations to Aberdeen. We could have won the game, we could have lost the game, and unfortunately for us, we did lose it. So, I just thought offensively in the game we weren't fast enough and dynamic enough and too safe. And sometimes that happens in cup finals, but especially in the first half, we've played against back fives many times. And you need your runs, and you need double runs, and you need those 1v1s, and then you need the ball to be moving quickly. So we just didn't do that well enough today. And like I say, we get in front, and we can still win it at the end. Dyson's obviously get a great chance, but for us, in terms of the creative side, we didn't create anywhere near as much as we would have liked.
There's almost an expectation with Celtic for the standards that you've delivered. Does that just maybe remind some people or show how tough it is to win a treble?
Well, I think to win any trophy is very difficult, and you have to earn it. It's not, we don't have a God-given right, but it really shows the consistency and the mentality over a number of years of what this group of players in this club has done. So, and today's a reminder that we've earned all the trophies that we've ever won, and today we didn't earn it. So, congratulations to Aberdeen, and it'll provide us with a great motivation now going into the summer and for next season.
When you've got so much dominance, could you sense when you didn't get the second goal that, particularly with the introduction of Shayden Morris, that Aberdeen were maybe beginning to grow in a bit of belief?
No, I think that, listen, they obviously the game plan was to sit deep and play on the counter and stay in the game, which worked well for them because of our lack of creativity. So obviously the young guy Morris comes on, he offers that bit of speed, and in counter-attack they can obviously hurt you. So but throughout the season we've dealt really well with that. So it's unfortunate, the goal. We would get good bodies in the box, but sadly it ended up in the back of the net. But like you said, we still had an opportunity late on with a 1v1. The keeper makes a good save, but I think over the course of the game we just didn't create anywhere near to the level of what I would expect us to.
It remains a
a double winning season, a season when you've provided knockout Champions League football. Does this, or over the piece, allow you to make an assessment for what you need going forward?
Yes, obviously I've got a really good idea of what we need, but as you say, it's still been a double season for us. Players have been so good, they've given absolutely everything. Today wasn't our day in that sport. You cannot win everything, and I think how this club has been and how this team in particular has been, then sometimes it gets a shrug of the shoulder that's easy, and today shows that it's not easy, one, and two, the standards of what this club has set. So it wasn't our day. We know what it is we need to improve, and we'll look to do that and get into the summer and renew the motivation and be ready to fight for all the trophies again next season.
Brendan, thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks.
Oh, very honest assessment, wasn't it, from Brendan Rodgers? Agree?
Yeah, I think he nailed it. It's really difficult to be critical of Celtic after everything they've achieved over the past few years, and in particular the manager as well. I mean, his record here was perfect. They're human beings, you know. I agree with Brendan, it wasn't their day. They didn't play well enough in the final third, which is not like them. And they came up against, and they always do come up against a team that was really highly motivated. And he was pretty honest about the level of performance, but it's really hard to stand here and be critical of what they have done. And it takes a penalty shootout to prevent them from winning yet another treble.
Yeah, I think winning trophies, he said it there, is really hard. Winning trebles is really, really, really hard. It's not an easy thing to do. Celtic have made it look easy over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And today shows that a team can have their day any given day. Any team can nick a game, and Aberdeen deserve full credit today. But no, you can't agree with Neil. You can't criticise Celtic and what they've brought. It just wasn't their day. They just didn't turn up and play with enough speed in the day. When a team are that much defensive and so low in their block, you need to move the ball from one side to another really quick to isolate 1v1s and 2v1s. They just didn't do that, so it was Aberdeen's day.
They just looked a bit fatigued, Charlie, as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a mental thing, Emma,
yeah.
when there's so much riding on the game, but these guys have been to the well so many times, and maybe it was just one game too many. It's hard to put your finger on it, but
and also when you win the league so early.
Yeah, that's always difficult because an edge
yeah.
goes a little bit, and I know they've played well, but you've got one sort of, that job's done now, you've got one more job to do, and you've got to wait maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks to play the game. And I'm not making excuses for them. They've been here and done it many, many times. But one, you got to congratulate Aberdeen on a magnificent performance and result, and two, hats off to Celtic for the season that they've had. It just wasn't their day today.
That's the thing, we saw the unusual scenario of Callum McGregor in tears on the pitch. It's not an emotion he's familiar with, just given how successful Celtic have been during his tenure. But Brendan Rodgers mentioned it there, didn't he? It now fuels them for next season. Do you expect Celtic to have a productive summer?
Listen, I'm sure they will, absolutely. Listen, Celtic are an elite team. This will really hurt, really hurt. And listen, emotion is a part of the game of any sport, huge a part of it. But no, I see probably big changes in the summer. I think probably Brendan can sort of lightly touched on that, comings and goings, but for him, that what clearly wasn't acceptable. I think even standing watching here, you thought, Neil Tiernan touched on it, did look a bit tired, a bit jaded, ran out of ideas, because it is hard when you've played such a long season. They compete in Europe, get to other finals. There's a lot in the legs, but that's why they have such big squads to rotate, to do really well. But today just wasn't their day. And
you have to say, you've touched on it, as much as there'll be disappointment today, it's still been a phenomenal season for Celtic. They've won the league and the Premier Sports Cup.
League Cup.
And done very, very well in Europe
Champions
as well.
League, got unbelievable performance against Bayern Munich away. Seen the emergence of some new players, and I think he will freshen things up. They lost Kyogo in January, and obviously didn't spend on the striker, but I think that'll be at the foremost of Brendan's mind. I think right through the team, the centre of the team, he'll look to improve that area, and they may come back stronger than ever next year, which is a frightening prospect for everybody else.
Yeah, it's an ominous scenario potentially for the rest of Scottish football, particularly in the top flight. But we have to give the last word to Aberdeen, because Andy, a phenomenal result for the city, for the club and for that group of players. You must be so proud here as the next captain.
Absolutely. Listen, it's the club, obviously, they always revert to what back in the 80s, you know, and it was serial winners, you know, winning League Cups, Championships, Scottish Cups, and it's been so long since that kind of came back. And the Scottish Cup is every manager's come in has always wanted to have that day in the sun. Always want to have that day in the sun, and the boys got it today. And do you know what? I'm just over the moon, just so happy for them.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the celebrations. Thank you both for your company. What a day it has been here at Hampden. Aberdeen are Scottish Cup champions. Enjoy your celebrations, Dons fans.